Today I'm going to be presenting a center that is based off of a 4th grade classroom. It's meeting the Common Core Standard 4.NF.2, and it's basically an extension and practice of understanding fraction equivalence and ordering. So the materials that you will need for this center are the fraction tower blocks for students to use, also the fraction strips, which I don't know if you can see these very well, but I have a personalized baggie, and I think this works best if each student just brings their own fraction baggie to the center, because they will probably use it for more than just the center, and it makes it a little more convenient. You will also need 2 dice, an expo marker. However, they will be working in partners, so each student will need an expo marker, and therefore 2 expo markers per partner pair. And an eraser. This one comes with one built in, so it's kind of handy, but they could use a tissue or anything that would work as an eraser as well. And finally, a pencil. So the objective of this center is the student is to compare the fractions using models and symbols to determine whether they are less than, equal to, or greater than each other, and receive no less than 9 out of 11 correct on their charted worksheet, which they will be handing in when they are done with this center. Some prior knowledge and prerequisite skills that students should have is they should have experience working with the fraction strips and the fraction tower blocks. They should understand the greater than, less than, and equal to symbols and have experience with those. They should have knowledge of equivalent fractions, understand numerator, denominator, and so forth. Learning styles addressed in this center include social or interpersonal. They are going to be working within partners and kind of feeding off of each other and helping each other understand. The kinesthetic, which is obviously they're using the blocks, they're using the fraction strips, the dice, there's a lot of hands-on things going on here. Visual, they're seeing the actual fractions displayed. They have a way to connect it with that. So the assessment that I will be doing is a summative assessment, and I will be looking over their scorecards once they've completed them. And really, like I said, this is just kind of an extension in practice, so if they aren't getting it by now, hopefully I will have recognized that, and the scorecard is more of just making sure they're going through and there aren't any problems arising that I wasn't aware of. So a kind of a rundown of how the center works would be the student will arrive at the center and they will read the center directions. Now these basically include what they're going to do as soon as they get to the center. They're going to pair up with a partner, the materials they need to get for each of their groups, that they will roll the dice to see who will go first, because whoever has the higher number then will go first. After they complete the game, they will take their scorecard and they will hand it into the Math Center folder, which hopefully is in a central location that they're all familiar with, and then finally leave the center just as they found it, if not neater. So once they've read the center directions, then they will read the directions for the actual game. And this game works by player 1 rolls the dice. Then player 1 adds up the total of their 2 dice and they find the roll that matches on the roll and answer worksheet. They solve the problem, check their answer, and if they're correct, the player who rolled the dice gets 2 points, and they record that on the scorecard, and player 2 gets 1 point for getting their correct answer as well. Then they just repeat the steps, switching on and off. So the roll and answer worksheet that they will be filling out looks like this, and I've just put plastic coverings on these, so they will each need one of these in the center. And then they will also have an answer card to check their answers. I don't know if we can really see that. And this allows for them to get immediate feedback to know whether they have completed it correctly or not. And like I said, then it all goes on the scorecard that is eventually to be handed in. So, for example, I might say, I roll my dice, I'm player 1, got a 5 and a 6, so I add that up, that's 11. I find number 11 on my roll and answer sheet. It says 2/3 is greater than, equal to, or less than 1/8. So I'm going to go ahead and compare 1/8 and 2/3, and I obviously can see 2/3 is greater than 1/8. So I go to my sheet, I fill in the greater than symbol for number 11. As my partner is doing the exact same thing, we check our answers. Oh, I'm correct. My partner Johnny is correct, so I add 2 points on my scorecard for number 11, and Johnny gets 1 point because he was correct as well. If I didn't get it correct, then I would get 0 points. And I add these points up, and I hand them in at the very end. So thank you for listening to my center.